Hello and welcome back to Study History with Mr. P and my GCSE history topic summary about the Birmingham campaign of 1963. So several civil rights groups, the SNCC, the SCLC and the ACHMR, launched what was known as Campaign C for confrontation to try to end segregation in Birmingham. Birmingham was chosen because it was completely segregated. Black Americans had often been attacked there, and it was believed that the police chief, Bull Connor, would be easily provoked into using violence. So the actions included sit-ins, peaceful protests and boycotts. Hundreds of protesters took part, and in turn they were arrested in the first few weeks, which included Martin Luther King, and were put into jail. In fact, it was during this time that Martin Luther King wrote his famous Letters from a Birmingham Jail. Young black people were then trained to demonstrate. On the 2nd of May, about 6,000 did so. Over 900 were arrested and again put in jail. On the 3rd of May, more young people marched, but the jails were full, so Bull Connor ordered that fire hoses and police dogs be used on the protesters, many of whom were children. The news reports of this caused worldwide horror. Now, in the short term, this led to a number of developments. On the 11th and 12th of May, a desegregation timetable was agreed for Birmingham. Black homes and businesses, though, were bombed, and there were the first significant riots by black people against white violence. Kennedy ordered federal troops into Alabama, and over 1,000 black students were then expelled from missing school because they'd been protesting or indeed been imprisoned. But the longer term events for this stretch further, because the federal government now became more fearful of widespread rioting, and there became protests in other cities across the USA, and actually we're going to look at another video at the effects of riots in this time period. A month later, 143 cities had some desegregation, but many black people felt that progress was still too slow, so this in turn connects to the growth of the Black Power movement. And many people felt that forced desegregation didn't work if local white people didn't accept it. And this is why more black people question the tactics used in the civil rights by the civil rights campaigners. Many Americans still saw civil rights as an urgent issue for the USA, and the government now produced a tougher civil rights bill. But civil rights protesters learned from this. They learned that their policy of inviting violence from opponents worked because it won them publicity and sympathy both in the USA and worldwide. But opponents of civil rights, like state officials and the police, learned that violence against protesters would escalate the situation, gain opponents and bad publicity, and win sympathy for the protesters. Therefore, they sought to avoid this.